Okay, so get this. Imagine having an AI assistant that not only writes your emails, but also analyzes data in real time and anticipates your needs across all your work apps. That's kind of the promise of Microsoft's Copilot. And these updates they are about to announce are pretty huge.
Yeah, it's not just about making our current tools, a bit smarter. It's about really fundamentally changing our relationship with technology in the workplace.
Right. Like it's like having this superpowered sidekick for like your whole workday. And I love digging into these like big tech advancements. So you've got to unpack like what this seamless platform integration and contextual understanding actually means.
Well, think of it this way. You're already using Copilot in tools like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
It helps me wrangle data, polish presentations. It's been a game changer for sure.
Exactly. So picture this. You're prepping for a big presentation. Copilot with its new upgrades doesn't just pull relevant data. It suggests talking points based on its analysis of your audience and even generates visuals on the fly, adapting to the information you need to get across.
Wow. No more like late night panics about the perfect slide deck. But what about those like mundane tasks like scheduling meetings across different time zones?
This is where this contextual understanding comes in. Imagine you're leading a project with team members, scattered across the globe. So instead of the usual email chain, trying to find a meeting time that works, Copilot analyzes everyone's calendars, considers potential conflicts, and suggests a slot that works for everyone.
Okay, that's impressive. That kind of efficiency could be a game changer for productivity.
It's all about freeing you up to focus on the actual work rather than getting bogged down in the logistics.
Right, okay, but let's talk about the security implications for a sec.
Right.
We're talking about giving AI access to potentially sensitive information. What are they doing to make sure that it doesn't end up in the wrong hands?
You've hit a crucial point. It is actually reassuring to see that the articles you shared highlight new security features as a major part of this Copilot update.
That's good to hear, especially with this, increasing integration of AI into our work lives.
And it's not even just about protecting data, it's about building trust. People need to feel confident that their information is safe and that these AI tools are working with their best interests in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like we're on the verge of, a whole new era of work, like powered by AI. But that brings us to the other big story you wanted to unpack.
Yeah.
Goes way beyond, just making our jobs a little bit easier.
Right, because while these advancements in AI functionality are exciting, they also raise some, pretty big questions about the bigger picture. And that's where Ilya Sutskever and his new company, Safe Superintelligence Inc., SSI, comes in.
Okay, super intelligence. I have to admit that sounds a little intense, even a bit like sci-fi.
Yeah, it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but it's worth understanding. Essentially, superintelligence refers to AI that surpasses human intelligence in pretty much every aspect. Learning, problem solving, even creativity.
So we're not talking about like robots taking over the world.
Yeah, not exactly. The concerns here are more nuanced. Think about algorithms, making critical decisions, but with potential biases built in. Or even AI systems that are designed with good intentions, but end up having unforeseen and potentially negative consequences. That's what SSI is trying to get ahead of, building safeguards into superintelligence from the ground up.
And Sutskever's background makes this even more interesting, right? I mean, he came from OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. That's got to give him some serious street cred in the AI world.
Absolutely. The article you shared points out a real distinction between SSI's approach and what we've seen from OpenAI so far. There's a sense that maybe OpenAI prioritized pushing the boundaries of what's possible and, quickly commercializing products, while Sutskever is hitting the brakes and saying, hold on, let's prioritize safety.
Especially with all the buzz lately about some of OpenAI's business practices.
Exactly. And that's why Sutskever launching SSI with $1 billion in funding is making waves.
$1 billion. That's a serious chunk of change. It's not like some Silicon Valley venture capitalist just had some spare cash lying around.
Yeah. It really underscores the fact that even those deeply involved in AI development are thinking seriously about the potential risks of unfettered progress. They're putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak.
They've got these two different forces emerging in the AI world. This drive to push the limits of what's possible, like we saw with Microsoft's Copilot updates. And then this counter movement, focused on safety and responsibility. As we're seeing with SSI, it's a fascinating tension, to say the least.
Yeah, it really highlights the fact that we're in uncharted territory here. This isn't just about, technological advancement. It's about navigating the ethical and societal implications of these incredibly powerful tools. And those conversations, they're happening now.
And it's not just happening in some tech boardroom, right? This impacts all of us. We started by talking about how AI might change the way you work, maybe even, make your workday a little smoother. But this conversation about superintelligence, that's about the future. And it's a future we're all kind of shaping together.
Absolutely. And that's why I find this, change in the narrative that the article mentions so interesting. It's not just about blindly celebrating, every AI breakthrough. It's about asking those tough questions about, the potential consequences
Wow.
and making sure that we're developing these technologies responsibly.
Yeah, because the genie's kind of out of the bottle, right? We can't just pretend that AI isn't happening.
Exactly. And frankly, AI has the potential to do a lot of good in the world. But it's up to all of us researchers, policymakers, even users like you to guide its development in a direction that benefits humanity. We've got some big decisions to make, and they're only going to get bigger.
It's definitely a lot to think about. Yeah, we went from like smarter PowerPoints to the future of intelligence in just a few minutes. What's the one big takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with today?
Well, the key thing to remember is that AI is no longer some, futuristic concept. It's here, it's evolving rapidly, and it's impacting our lives in some really profound ways. We can't just sit back and watch it unfold. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
That's a great note to end on. Be informed, be engaged, and be thoughtful.
Yeah. And on that note, until next time, happy diving.